Hello, my beautiful friends. Hope you're doing amazing. Today, we're going to be getting ready together and talking about my divorce, if that's something you'd be interested in. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Audrey. Thank you so much for being here. Please consider subscribing down below before you leave. We talk about makeup over here. I'm just a mom who loves makeup, and that's what we do. And if you're returning, hi, hello, welcome. I love and appreciate you, and let's get started. Okay, so I have been putting this video off for a while, mainly because I know a lot of people are going to watch it. I don't know about everybody else, but when I see somebody post divorced, I instantly want to click on it. It's like, I mean, it's my curiosity, I guess. So, we're going to be talking about that today. Real quick, I'm not going to talk about the makeup I'm using. I'm just going to do my makeup. So everything that I put on my face will be down in the description box. Those links are affiliated links if I can help it. That just helps to support my channel. Thank you very much. This is my story. This is what happened to me. I cannot attest to anyone else's stories. And there is always two sides to a story. So he probably has his own side. And then, so you're going to hear my story. And if addiction is something that maybe triggers you or you would be upset with watching, my ex-husband was an addict. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I graduated high school in 2013. And right after I graduated high school, my long-term boyfriend of 4 years cheated on me with my best friend. So I no longer spoke to either one of them for a while. And then I was trying to figure out life and figure out dating. And I was working and student teaching dance and going to college, all three of them at the same time. And I was drinking a lot. I have my own past with addiction and alcohol. So I no longer drink any alcohol ever. But so I started dating my ex-husband in 2014, and he was the brother of, or still is the brother of my boyfriend that I dated for 4 years. So I knew him and kind of reconnected with him based on a mutual hurt, because he was hurt by my best friend, whom my boyfriend at the time cheated on me with, and I was hurt by his brother. So we connected and we started dating. And honestly, looking back at it now, we would have broken up based on all of the red flags if my brother would not have died. So we were dating for like 6 months. And it was starting to get pretty red flaggy. And then my brother died in his car accident in January of 2015. And then my ex-husband decided he couldn't break up with me because my brother had died, which is respectable. You know, it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. I 110% truly believe that everything happens for a reason. And if all of this would not have happened, I would not be here right now. I believe in God, and I believe that he has a hand in my life. That's it. I trust him. So he didn't leave me, decided he couldn't leave me because my brother had just died. And then a week after my brother died, I got pregnant with my oldest son. Hi, if you're new here. We do have a lot of people that are new here. My name's Audrey. I am 29 years old and I'm the mother of 5 children. My oldest son I got pregnant with a week after my brother died, and his name is Michael, named after my brother that passed away. And then I have Michelle, who's named after me. And then I have 3 other children from my current marriage, Lamont, Leela, and Mila. So, I got pregnant with my son a week after my brother died. Mentioned that like 3 times. So, I then, after about 6 months, decided to leave my job, to be a stay-at-home mother. And, the job did something that really made me mad. They let another person have a vacation when I worked my butt off for them and always showed up on time and all the things. They favored this other person over me, and I was like, well, I'm probably going to quit when I have my baby anyways, so I'm just going to leave now. So that's what I did. I left and started staying at home and got married when I was 6 months pregnant to my ex-husband, because I really wanted to have the same last name as my baby. And then, that was incredible. That really, really, I believe, helped my parents. They had a new grandson to think of. They were still very sad and mourning the death of their son, but they had a new grandson. So, it's always a light in the darkness type of deal. So, we were married and, living at my parents' house. We were living with my mom and dad. My mom and dad got divorced a year after my brother died, so we got married and then my parents got divorced. And we were still continuing to live with my mother. And then I got pregnant again because I knew I wanted to have 2 children and I knew that I wanted to have them close together. And my ex-husband at this time, unaware to my knowledge, was a very hardcore addict. Pretty much everything I think he did with, so lots of bad stuff. And he just kind of did, what I wanted him to do, and just kind of went along with everything that I said. So I wanted to have 2 kids close together, and that's all that at the time I thought that I wanted. So, we had my daughter Michelle when she was in 2017, March of 2017. Oh, wow. And then, so we were living with my mother, and we lived with her for a while. We then moved around a couple times. We lived in a couple different places, none of our own, always with friends, because my ex-husband could not keep a job. Because when he was as intense of an addict as he was, he would just leave. He would just leave the job, and there was a couple jobs where I would actually not be able to reach him, and then I would call the workplace, and they would tell me, oh yeah, he got fired. he has not been working here. So, just lies after lies after lies. And that's what addicts do. I think, addicts are professional liars. So, we had our baby in 2017, little girl, and he actually, during the birth of that baby, left to go see his probation officer, because as an addict, he was also in and out of jail over and over and over. And they always let him out because, he was never caught with anything really intense. The scary drugs, he was never caught with anything like that. They only got him for the little teeny drugs. So they kept letting him out, and they kept letting him try to do better. He had every chance after chance after chance. So when I had just given birth to our little girl, he left to go see his probation officer and then came back, and I'm sure he was on all kinds of drugs. But so we had our baby in 2017. And then after we had the 2 kids, I mean, we were kind of done. Like, I didn't think I would be able to have any more children with him because I knew that he had a problem. I just thought that, you know, he told me over and over and over that he would stop and that he was done and that he would be better and that he was gonna do his probation officer stuff and he was gonna, you know, he told me all the things that I wanted to hear. Very good manipulator. And I was very naive. I've learned a lot as time went on. So we ended up moving back in with my mom. And let's do browse next. So we moved back in with my mom, and at that point, I had found a church that I really liked. That was like an hour away from my mom. So, and I mean, the pastor was incredible. The pastor's wife was absolutely amazing. And they had, I think in their past, they'd had a little bit of an experience with addiction. And where I hadn't really, they were able to see the signs and to help me being the wife of an addict. So, with my 2 teeny tiny babies, mind you, they were so little. So we were able to, I had to get a job. I ended up getting a job, a part-time job, a little part-time job, while my ex-husband was still around. Because I was like, I gotta do something. We have absolutely no money. We're literally negative money. My mother helped us with absolutely everything. Thank God for her. So I got a part-time job, and then we moved out to that place that's an hour away from where we lived with my mom. We moved out there, and you know, every single time he was always telling me how he was going to stop and how everything would be better and all the things, you know. And at that point, I really did need to consider the safety of my children. So we moved out there, and things didn't get better. He yes, just continued down the road he was on with his probation and all the things. And the absolutely incredible pastor's wife and pastor of the church that I had found, they ended up sending him to rehab in California. It was a 3-month rehab program that was incredible. Some friends that they knew, and I mean, they paid for the plane ticket, and it was amazing. I was like, yes, this is it. This is going to be it. So we, and I mean, at the time I mentioned he had lots of jail stuff, and he had lots of, run-ins with the law, lots of probation that he kept messing up over and over and over. Before he left, he met with the judge, and the judge was like, okay, if you go to rehab and come back and you're clean and good, then that's it. You're done with probation. Probation, done. We can move on from this part of our life, right? So he went to rehab for 3 months. Okay, so at that point, he was in rehab, and I had to get a full-time job. And the whole while, I mean, I was trying. I was trying so hard. I still was never willing to give up because, you know, I think that marriage is super important, and it's not something that should just be thrown away. So I got a full-time job. I buried myself in church, and I put my kids in daycare. 3 months go by, and we have a minimal amount of contact. He passes the rehab stuff class, whatever thing, and then he comes back. And so that's in 2018. He went for 3 months in 2018. So, I mean, our little girl is like a year old. Um, and yeah, so he comes back after his 3 months of rehab, and he has a meeting with the judge because they said, if you can keep yourself clean and go to rehab and then come back, everything will be good and golden, and you can be done with this. And we go to the judge. He has a court date with his probation stuff, and he tests positive for meth and heroin. So that didn't happen. Had to continue with all of the court things and stuff. And that was absolutely gut-wrenching and really shocking too, because I mean, he'd only been back for a week. Like, so that's just, it's an addict. And in the moment, you are thinking, why can he not pick his children? Why can he not decide to stop? But really, an addiction is so much more complicated than that. And I know that now, looking back on it. And truly, truly, I wish him the best in his life, wherever he's at. But anyways, so tested positive, and the probation started again, and it was gut-wrenching, and it was awful. But I still didn't give up. So we're living in that town with our church, and I'm really pressing in, and I'm trying to help him. And oh, his name's Adam. I was gonna say that. Just his first name. But anyways, so really, really trying to help him, and life's going on and all the things. And then let's see. So he came back. I wish I could remember the exact dates. I think he came back in September. I think he came back September 1st. So September 1st of 2018, right? So 2018, and then we're trying really hard, living life. I'm working full time. Kids are going to daycare. He's trying to find a job, trying to keep a job, all the things. We December. So from September to December, we're still trying. But we get to December, and I am working at a call center, and I got a phone call from a lady from our church, and she said, "Is Adam okay? He's been sick the last couple days or so and hasn't been coming into work. We just want to make sure he's all right." And I knew exactly what that meant. How many times had I found him passed out next to a park, or just lying about where he was. I chased him and chased him and chased him. It's just gut-wrenching to think about. And it's so funny because now it seems like a distant memory. Like, it seems very much far, far in the past. But I do remember this clearly. So, I tried to call him. He wouldn't answer. And at this point, we only had one car. I had my mother come and get me, from work. Went and got my kids. My mother kept my kids from daycare. And I went to my my pastor's house because I wanted to talk to him. I mean, at this point, he had done the rehab and it had been years, and we were almost married for 4 years. So it had been years, and I had never, ever been married to anyone who was not on drugs. I don't even know what he's like as a sober human being. So it had come to this point where I went to my pastor's house and I said, come meet me here. Come meet me here and we can talk because I am afraid of you. I'm afraid for my kids' safety. Like very unpredictable, pretty scary stuff. So we went to, was waiting and waiting and waiting all day. I waited the entire day for him to come and talk to me. And he wouldn't. He couldn't face me. He wouldn't face me. And I said, you know, you can't go home. You cannot go home. I do not trust you. You can't go to where we live until we talk about this. So come meet me somewhere safe where there's other people. And he wouldn't do it. So the day ended. I went home to my little apartment, slept on the couch with my 2 little babies, and in the middle of the night, midnight, 1 o'clock, I got a phone call from a police officer. They had found my car, the one car that we had. They'd found my car wrecked on the side of the road, and they could not find Adam. So he had fled the scene. And they wondered if I knew where he was, and I was like, no, I have no idea where he is. After that, I didn't have a vehicle. Thank goodness we were at our church because someone from our church let me borrow a car because I was commuting like 30 minutes to work every day to keep an income for my family. And so that was the last time I saw him until a little while after that. So after that, he left. He left, figured out how to get to another place. That's like, turns out he was like 2 hours away from where I was. But I didn't know that at the time. He literally just left. I didn't have any idea where he was. Didn't have any idea where he was, and he had just left and was not willing to meet with me and communicate or anything like that. So that's when I decided I was done. That's it. He left. He wasn't willing anymore. I got divorced. And I filed for divorce in January that year. Didn't get approved until April. And then when you don't know where your spouse is, you have to post in the paper. And I did all these extra things because I didn't know where he was. And then evidently he saw it or something because he did show up to the April hearing. And was like, I requested full custody, 100% physical and the other kind, custody of both of my 2 kids that I had at the time because he was unsafe and unfit, and I just didn't think that was good for them. So, and he came and lied to the judge, and the judge saw right through him because judges see addicts all the time. And I was granted my custody of the children, and I still, even after that, was trying. I let him see his kids a couple times. You know, he had a few court things he had to figure out where we're from, and then he would just go back to where he decided to leave us at a couple hours away. And eventually he stopped trying to reach out or trying to connect or anything, just kind of left. And really, I think that is better for my children with everything that happened and how awful and terrible that was. And then I went through a really hard time because the overwhelming feeling of feeling like a failure when your marriage ends, no matter what the circumstances are just weight. It's just it's an insane weight to have to carry, to know that you tried so hard and it still failed. So I had a healing period. And then my current husband, I had known him since we were 14 years old. Best man I have ever known. Absolutely incredible. Slade, like, blows my mind still to this day. He's so calm and collected. I like to say he's the calm to my crazy, because I have a lot of trauma and things that I have to work through. But I mean, Slade is just, he's amazing. He's an amazing father, an amazing husband. So I kind of think that maybe I had to have a bad one so I could appreciate a good one, but that's how I think. Yeah, he left and he's married now to someone new, and I do truly wish him the best. I am so happy now and in such a good place, and living my dream best life. So yeah, that is what happened. I was married to an addict, and through that, I decided and noticed that I was addicted to alcohol, and I completely stopped. Haven't had a drink of alcohol since 2018. So, but yeah, I mean, this is stuff that I don't really talk about on my channel. Please keep it kind in the comments. I know everybody has an opinion and I would love to talk to you all, but just keep it kind, please. They have a dad that absolutely loves them and goes out of his way for them, and I am so thankful for that. I think that everything happened the way it was supposed to and for a reason. So, yeah, I think that's everything. I hope that I hit all the points I wanted to hit. And yeah, okay. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you. Give this video a thumbs up if you love videos like this, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! Duty call. And I was at home.
I used to be so good at planning things. Since I met you, I threw my plans away. Coffee at night and 10 a.m. champagne. We can spend a week in London or LA. Yeah, the sun